Hello, this is Nicko with Food Cravings, and today we're making Chicken Piccata! Now, this is a very popular Milanese dish, specifically from Italy. Traditionally, Italians prepare this dish using veal, but today we're using chicken, so here we go. We're gonna start with some capers, which are soaked in their own brine. 1 chicken breast cut in half, then pounded to an even thickness. And we'll start by seasoning both sides with salt and some cracked black pepper. And it's important not to oversalt this dish because it already contains the rest of the capers and garlic and other things that we're going to add. And you don't want to overdo it. Now we're going to drain the capers and give it a quick rinse. What that will do is remove the excess brine so it won't be so salty. And here we'll dredge the chicken into some flour on both sides, coating evenly. We'll do the same for each piece. I really took my time here because I wanted to make sure that each front and back piece was coated evenly with flour so that there was no empty surfaces like that you see right there on the lower left side, as I'm going in with some more flour to patch it up. Once our pieces are coated, we'll let them rest so that the flour can adhere to the meat. Next, it's on to some boiling water, which we've salted generously. And it's important to add the salt until it's like seawater. Here I'm giving it a stir. Next, we'll add in the pasta, and I chose to use linguine for this because that's what I had on hand. And I'll give it a stir to make sure that they don't stick together. And there's no need for olive oil here because you want the natural pan drippings to stick to the pasta. But if you stir it, that means you won't have any sticking. And into our pan, we'll add some butter. Once the butter melts, we'll add the chicken. This is sauteing on medium to medium-high heat. Once that part's done, we'll flip the chicken pieces over. But before that, let's check on our pasta. Here I decided to give it another stir. Meanwhile, it was time to turn the chicken over. As this cooks, on both sides evenly. Here I decided to reseason with some cracked black pepper. Here I decided to take a little noodle and test the pasta for doneness. Once I was satisfied with the level of doneness, I decided it was time to drain into a colander, of course. And what we'll do is set that aside after completely draining it and check on our chicken again. Next, it was time to add in the capers. If you've made this before, you know what I'm talking about when I say lemon, caper, garlic. Because that flavor profile is to die for. Absolutely heavenly, I tell you. So here I decided to give it a stir before adding some lemon juice. And yes, I made it rain. By dropping in the lemon like that, we get that extra lemony flavor in one shot. This way you won't have to zest your lemon or anything like that. You could just throw it in as is. And you'll still get that tangy flavor note. After many years of making this dish countless times, I found that this method does truly work. And here's a pro tip. The reason why we added butter to our already oiled pan of olive oil is so that we can buy it more time at higher heat to avoid burning. I squeezed the last of the lemon. And here I decided it needed a splash of white wine. And I gave it a quick toss, just slightly. Then I added the garlic. You want to saute the garlic until just barely softened, not burning. That isn't to say that once you start cooking this dish, you could walk away from it or anything. You don't want it to burn. Doesn't that just look wonderful? Now it was time to plate the pasta. And that looks tasty already. And to that, we add our chicken. I just placed it down here gently because I didn't want to disturb everything on top. I mean, the presentation with the capers and the salt and pepper and the lemon and the garlic on top looks so harmonious. Why would I want to disturb that? And here I was adding some of the pan juices. I guess you can call those drippings. This dish is one of my all-time favorite classics, so I decided to garnish that with some parsley. And yes, freshly chopped, of course. And here I went in for a taste. All I gotta say is wow, the combination between the savory, pungent garlic and the salty, briny capers along with the lemon, it just gives it that extra twang, and it's so good. I hope you've enjoyed today's recipe for chicken piccata. For more info, please visit www.chefnicko.blogspot.com. Thank you and bon appetit.